My name is Elizabeth, and as I turn the pages of my life and soon go into the Lord's embrace, I take this time to reflect on everything that led me to be in this place. I was born in 1774 in New York. My father, Richard Bayley, was a doctor. I loved him very much, but he was often away studying abroad or serving here with the British Army during the American Revolution. My mother I cannot remember, other than from stories my father would tell me about her. She died when I was only 3 years old. I always missed my mother. My stepmother didn't make that feeling any better, as she didn't show much affection or warmth toward my sister Mary and me. We lived in several places in Manhattan. My father was very busy with his medical practice, his research into the cause of yellow fever, and his teaching at King's College. Mary and I were often sent to live with my uncle's family in New Rochelle. I missed my father a lot, but sometimes I would console myself with thoughts of God as my father. I was 19 when I met and married the love of my life, William McGee Seton. We had 5 beautiful children: Anna Maria, William, Richard, Catherine, and Rebecca. They kept me very busy, but I loved being a mother. In 1797, with 2 young babies of my own, I joined a woman's charitable society that helped poor widows and orphans. My sister-in-law Rebecca and I would visit them, help provide for their needs, and feel the pain of their poverty. We lived on fashionable Wall Street, but when William's father died, we moved to his home on Stone Street to care for his young children, as well as my own. Will's merchant business began to fail, and so did his health. We had to declare bankruptcy and move to a smaller home on State Street, our last home together, where our 5th child, Rebecca, was born. Even with all our sorrows, I will forever cherish the memories we made there. As Will's tuberculosis grew worse, we made the desperate choice to sail to Italy, where the climate was warmer and Will had business associates. But when we arrived, we were put into quarantine for a month. Will's health grew worse and worse. There was nothing I could do but try to comfort and pray with him. He died at 36, and the Lord left me as a widow at 29 with 5 children. I thought losing my mother at an age I could not recollect was tragic. But losing my sweetheart at 29 left me with an unfathomable pain. But the Lord did not abandon me. He sent Will's friends, Antonio and Filippo Felici, and their families to help me during this time of anguish, and brought me back to my home in America. Their love, care, and kindness toward me reminded me of God's care for me. It reminded me that I am not alone, reminded me that I have not been forgotten. They truly lived their Catholic faith and shared it with me. I was especially drawn to their belief that Jesus was really present in the Eucharist. Oh, if I could only believe that. I returned home with questions about what to believe. I didn't expect that the struggle would be so hard. As a widow, I needed my family's help to support myself and my children. But many of them looked down on Catholics who were mostly immigrants from a lower social class. I knew that if I chose this path, many of them would reject me for my conversion. I felt abandoned, isolated, and misunderstood. This began a journey that I would never have imagined. What was I to do? Where was God leading me? For almost a year, I struggled, I searched, I suffered. And in those moments when I felt that way, I couldn't help but reflect on the sentiments of Jesus Christ, who also felt the same. Finally, after almost a year of struggle, in Lent 1805, I professed my faith as a Roman Catholic and received communion. I thought to myself, at last, God is mine, and I am His. A year later, I was confirmed by Bishop John Carroll at St. Peter Church on Barclay Street. Looking back, I see how my struggles drew me closer to God, whose provident care opened doors for me when I least expected them. As I tried to find a way to live my faith and support my children, God sent Father Louis Dubourg, who invited me to come to Baltimore and start a small school. It was in Baltimore that my faith truly flourished. Soon, other women came to join me, and I was asked to consider beginning a religious community. I felt such joy at the prospect of loving God by serving those in need. I loved teaching and helping the children. I couldn't help but see myself in them as I remembered the love I wish I had received from my mother as a child. I wanted the children to feel loved and cared for, and that's what we did. I knew that tenderness was the language that they best understood. In 1809, we moved to Emmitsburg in the Maryland countryside. On July 31st, we began the Sisters of Charity of St. Joseph's. It was the first religious community of women founded in the United States. We followed the rule of St. Vincent de Paul to provide every service in our power to those in need. We began with a free school for the neighborhood children, and then a boarding school for girls. In August 1817, I sent 3 sisters back to my hometown of New York to care for orphans, and later to educate children and care for the sick, to provide every service in our power. The very city where I grew up, met the love of my life, had my children, and found my faith in, was now the place where my legacy would continue. And I can't help but think that as I am going soon to God, I hold a special place in my heart for New York, the city where I spent 34 of my 47 years on earth. I pray that what God has started here with the Sisters of Charity, their service to all in need, young and old, those who live in poverty, and those with resources to help them, will only continue to grow for many generations to come. But for now, that is all. Until the Lord decides my last breath, I will keep meeting my grace. Keep moving forward.
Over 200 years later, Elizabeth's legacy lives on through us and through our partners in ministry.